have read it. We got the report last night at 8 p.m., by which point some of you had already received the report and were probably reading it ahead of us or with us. So what I'll do is go through what is it that Kenyans really wanted. The 9 issues that the chair of the BBI task force has talked about are national ethos, responsibilities and rights, ethnic antagonism and competition, inclusivity, shared prosperity, safety and security, devolution, corruption, divisive elections, and there was an additional issue which was commissions and cross-cutting issues. So what concerns Kenyans? What did they say ails us? One is that we do not have a national bond. And they also felt that there is no luxury of time. There is an urgent need to change. The other thing that Kenyans said was that we have very many young people, and many of them feel excluded, that we have a high trust deficit, both amongst those who rule and those who are ruled, and amongst ourselves as citizens. We have a culture of lawlessness, we have no vision for a future, and our families are in crisis. Another thing that Kenyans said was that we focus unduly on sharing the national cake, but we do not concern ourselves as much with how to bake a bigger cake. There was also the view that we have a leadership crisis in this country, that public servants are not servants, they act as bosses, that we have insensitivity to people who live with disabilities or who are not like ourselves, and that we also have an attitude and behavior problem. We sweep our injustices under the carpet. That's why we're always talking about historical injustices. People do not feel safe in this country. They do not feel safe and secure. And therefore, we need a national, all-inclusive and encompassing conversation. With regard to the issue of national ethos, we got straight from the report this statement: kusema ukweli, sisi ni kama tumepotea sana. Sababu moja ni vile tumekosa zile sheria za mila zetu na desturi. In what we adopted as modern ways, we have a culture of sloganeering, but we don't seem convinced and we don't act to take in our histories so that we know who we are. National vision beyond the electoral cycle of 5 years. And we also need tujivunie kuwa wa Africa and skins. We must, in this regard, protect our cultural heritage, and it was proposed that we rename 26th of December, which is currently called Boxing Day, to National Culture Day. There was also the proposal that we need a deepened focus on ethics, and that we need to develop an ethics commission quite apart from the ethics commission, so that we have a positive way of addressing the integrity deficit. We need to develop mechanisms for Chapter 6. Again, it was felt that many of us we don't look at jukumu letu. We look at rights but not responsibilities. So we need to have sustained civic education on responsibility. use the services that we manage, so that myself, as a person who teaches in a public university, should not have my child going to study law in another university, because if I'm a leading professor for other people's children, I should be for my children. The same thing with education. That we should have an interministerial task force to deal with parenting, and this should not just be at the government level. We need to involve cultural and religious institutions. We need to have ethics and accountability training in all workplaces, and have Kenyans between 18 and 26 undertake 6 months voluntary national service. They do it. And the Netherlands. Next, ability. And we need a new economic paradigm for prosperity and to create providing ways for people to invest locally and diaspora. So we shouldn't be talking about creating business from the top. We should worry about mama. We should also align employment and income opportunities to the expectations of young Kenyans. I think it was noted to me that the average talking of an economy based on agriculture, which therefore is leaving quite a big chunk of our populace. So we need to look at the sectors where our youth are engaged. We need to encourage a national savings culture. Who we are as Kenyans. There should be legal compulsion. Law should be used to compel us as a country to spend more on development. And it was proposed that we should have 70% on development and only 30% and of years to enable them to establish themselves. The last issue that of public trust are everywhere. I dare say corruption and abuse of trust are everywhere. It's not just public. Citizens them. We need to give incentives from process. We should give 5% to whistleblowers so that they can engage in this activity. intelligence-led evidence and prosecute these actors in the cartels. The government, Mr. President. So the Ndegwa report that allowed public servants to do business with government should actually be now thrown out, as it is not serving our country. We should make wealth declaration forms public, and leaders should assume and poor action that leads. I resign when I am dead. Basically, of government services, and we should also increase public confidence in our judiciary. Again, we're coming from a point where before the Constitution there was very low ombudsperson and empowering the judiciary of judges that do not warrant removal. We need to strengthen the office of the Constitution to detect and respond to misappropriation, wastage, and illegal. We should finalize. Thank you.